Wuthering Waves version 2.7 is finally here, and yeah, you know what that means. New patch, new character drops, and another round of people arguing on who's worth the asteroids. This time we got Galbrena, starring as the first half banner character, and honestly, she might just be one of the most interesting character we got in game. She's basically the first true fusion main DPS. She got the aesthetic that instantly reminds us of some of the most iconic characters in gaming industry. And on top of that, she got a pretty deep tie to the game lore, which you will see for yourself in the main story quest, because I'm not gonna spoil that here. But of course, with every hype characters come the critique parade. Some players feel her performance is a little bit underwhelming compared to other main DPS units, or that her animation don't hit as hard, which honestly I don't really get. Her animation is fire, you know, fire. Well, maybe the opinion came from how the characters like Augusta or Yuno basically took the entire animation budget for themselves. No offense, dev team, love you guys. And also there's that classic take. Her design looks more like a 4-star than a 5-star. Like, hello? Are we playing the same game? Because I don't think so. But hey, this is subjective, and most of those opinions came way before her actual release, back when people were still judging her from the unofficial data and previews. But the real question is, did any of that change after we got her drop in game? Are people still holding on to their pre-release opinion like it's a limited time event currency? Well, my first impression of Galbrena was pretty good. She is fun to play and fast, like really fast. And that's refreshing, because most of the time I ended up pulling a character who swings heavy. Not that I don't like the others, I just don't have the budget to collect everyone. But yeah, Galbrena definitely feels unique. Moreover, with all those long tags you got in her skill descriptions. Just in case you're still confused of how to use her. Well, basically in simple terms, you want to use the intro skill, fill her blue forte with basic attack, fill her red forte by using everyone's echo, which will increase her damage, use her enhance skill to enter the demon mode, use the liberation, then spam basic attack until you run out of forte, then switch to other character for big outro damage. Yeah, despite all those long tags, she's pretty simple to use. She's probably one of the most fast-paced DPS unit we've got in game, the kind that thrives on quick rotations for maximum damage output, at least for the current version. And as for the personal damage, I think she still hits a solid number with proper build. So why are people saying she feels underwhelming? Well, I think it's mostly a comparison problem, or you use her wrong. But before we talk more about this, if you made it this far and you've been enjoying my content lately, or you just stumbled across this one, please consider subscribing, because why not? It really helps and motivates me to make more content like this, and smash that like button if you are vibing with it. And now, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. A lot of players are stacking her up against other DPS characters who throw up a huge number on screen, like Augusta for example, who's, let's be real, can drop a big crits every time she breathes. But here's the thing, not all DPS are built the same. Augusta's kit is filled with different moves, enhanced skill, normal liberation, unique liberation, basically a full combo meals of flashy hits. Meanwhile, Galbrena, she doesn't have all that fancy moves to be able to deal damage. It's because her damage mainly comes from her enhanced attack. Does that make her weaker? Not really. If you actually test her personal damage, she's holding up just fine. Well, I tried it myself with the False Sovereign as the test dummy, and while Augusta might flex bigger number per hit, Galbrena feels more consistent, at least for me. She doesn't have those awkward downtime moments where your damage just flatlines. And honestly, this is kind of a Wuthering Waves pattern. Some characters are built to solo, and some are built to synergize. Take Cartethia and Zani for example. Both are heavy hitters, but Cartethia can handle things solo because of her design, while Zani might have a little bit of hiccups here and there without the right setup. Another thing that makes Galbrena feels like a weaker DPS right now is none other than her team comp situation. See, Galbrena's main source damage actually comes from echo damage, and as you can see, that plastered all over her skill descriptions. If you break it down, more than 50% of her total damage output is echo based, and that is where things start to get tricky, because as far as this patch, while we do have some echo related characters in game, none of them really fits the way, say, Phoebe fits Zani. It's more like you're just throwing in placeholders to fit the empty slots. The problem? We still don't have a proper echo buffer in the game, not even a 4-star that can boost that type of damage. But thankfully, with Chuyuwon's lining up for the next patch, that might finally change the entire scenario. It's not just gonna be a big improvement for Galbrena, but also for Prolova and any other echo scaling resonators down in line. For now though, the strongest setup you can run her in is the Mono Fusion team: Galbrena, Lupa, and Brand. Personally, I think that's the main reason why she's comfortably in the tier 0. That team works surprisingly well even if you're just using the standard 5-star gun, since it helps to boost the next resonator's attack. It is less about Galbrena solo shining as the main DPS and more about how well the whole team clicks together. But here's the catch: what if you're like me and you don't have another fusion resonator lying around? Well, you still do fine. Not amazing, but fine. If you got Prolova or Yuno, they can both pair decently with Galbrena. And for the third slot, you can just throw Shorekeeper in as the crit buffer. It still works perfectly fine. But if you also don't have any of them, then yeah, it's down to Mortifi and Verena, I guess. It still works, just let's be honest, it's not gonna be the strongest team around. Other characters like Augusta work perfectly fine even with these free lineups is because they fit exactly what she needs. Pure heavy attack buffer, a little bit of crit buffer, and some moral support on the side. But Galbrena, she builds different. Yes, she does deal some heavy attack damage, but that is not really her main source of output. Her real strength lies in echo damage. So until Kuro decides to drop a proper 4-star echo support, we're kinda stuck waiting. Well, with that being said, I still think Galbrena is a great character, especially if you got Lupa and Brand in your lineups. Right now, she's actually performed slightly better than Changli. Not a huge leap, but enough to make a difference. More like a nice little sprinkle on top, you know? So if you're already running Changli in your Mono Fusion setup, pulling for Galbrena is just a matter of personal taste. Overall, Galbrena is a solid unit on her own. It's just that her limited team's option right now kinda hold her from showing her full potential as a main DPS. So whether you're pulling for her or skipping this banner really comes down to your needs and budget. But all I can really say, you won't regret your decision if you pull for her. So what do you think about Galbrena? Let us know in the comment section. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching.